Hi, Dr. Gong here to talk about medical Qigong. And what is medical Qigong? I don't have an exact definition, but I can tell you what to do, when it's appropriate to do, and that it actually works. Which is sort of like saying, yeah, okay, doc, maybe it works in practice, but does it work in theory? Well, there is a theory. Traditional Chinese medicine has acupuncture. Theory there is you have an energy grid in the body. There's something stuck in that grid. You put a needle in a critical juncture, lines clear, the energy flows, and you improve. So for our purposes, Meridian line Qigong is medical Qigong. That's good enough. So the idea is you want to clear the lines in the body with simple movements and have the energy flow. Now, there are Qigong sets that can be pretty complicated. The simplest set I know, called Dragon and Tiger, it's 7 exercises. And people spend a lot of time focusing on getting the physics of it just exactly right. A lot of physical details. And what you're hoping to do is set up the physical conditions so that the energy will flow like it ought to. But you can get it simpler than that. Now, the nature of this grid is that it's an immensely complex thing. If you talk to the people in India, 72,000 lines in the grid. Chinese say, no, it's only 36,000, but only 5,000 of those are functional and things you have to pay attention to. And you see the acupuncture chart, they got it down to 14, but you can get it down to as simple as 5 lines that cover the whole human body. So 5 lines would be stick figure, 1 vertical, 2 arms, 2 legs. That's simple. So how do you clear the lines? Well, you use your hands. So if you just sit comfortably, take one hand, and it doesn't matter where you start, but let's say we're going to start right here in your heart center, close to your physical heart. Let the other arm relax just passively and try to make some connection between your fingertips and your skin. So you project to the skin until you feel something. And try turning it on, turning it off, so you'll know when it's happening and when it's not. This could take a while, but let's say you learn it relatively quickly. Then you move over to the shoulder, and there is a certain point in the shoulder exactly, a little indentation under the collarbone big enough to hold a bird egg, so it's called the shoulder's nest. And from there you just continue down the inside arm and just try to clear and clean and empty out. When you get to the fingertips, go beyond the fingertips. You would do the same on the left as you would on the right. And I'm just doing it quickly. Normally you would do quite a number of repetitions, say about 20 repetitions to make this happen. But just get the sense of cleaning whatever's stuck, whatever's tense, whatever doesn't feel right. Even strength. What we experience as strength is often tension. So clear that out. And for the central channel, come up at the top of the head, point right at what we'll call the North Pole. This is the North Pole. We're going to come down the prime meridian, right down through the forehead, and the nose, and the mouth, and the chin, and the throat, and the sternum, solar plexus, navel, pubic bone, South Pole, and out. Pretty straightforward. Straight down. For the legs, start at the South Pole, which is the very bottom of the pelvis, and go down the inside seam. All the way down the ankle and the foot, and then into the ground. It's important that you go into the ground. Left side, right side. It's important that you go beyond the fingertips. And why is that important? Well, you have an energy field, and you want to go beyond that energy field. That's also the reason why we're not touching the surface. Now you could do this. There are Qigong sats that work on, just brushing the skin, and you will feel the effects of that. But if you're trying to get a hold of the subtle energy stuff, it's not going to work. It'll be too much noise, too much distraction. So you go away from the surface. About 4 inches, if you want to find something exactly, you could start at your skin and move your hand slowly away until you find some change. Usually 4 or 5 inches out is the border of the energy body. So that's where you go from. If you can't feel it, doesn't matter. It'll still work. You could come out even further if you felt like, boy, I really feel it out there, and work that way. That's another level of the energy field, different field. So stay away from the skin, go beyond. Now, behind these 5 lines, you have certain organs, particularly the central one. So what do we have up here? We have the sinuses, and then the throat, and down below the throat we have the heart. Below that is the pancreas, and then you're down in the intestines, the reproductive organs at the bottom, and then out the bottom, out the South Pole. You would use this, say, when you're coming down with a cold. I have really good luck with this. Sometimes there's a sneeze that comes, and I say, that's not a regular sneeze, that's a cold coming in. And I just start clearing that line. So the theory is, you get the line, you'll get the organs behind it. And I have nipped a cold in the bud in as little as a few minutes. Just clear that out, and it goes. The energy is strong enough to repel the cold. You've gotten it flowing. What else do you have in the torso? What are the organs? Well, I'm going to show you 2 more lines, 2 more in addition to those 5, what we call the side channels. So I'll do them both at once just to save time. Point again at the top of the head, then come down through the ears. You might have ear problems. And again, down the sides of the neck to the shoulder's nest, that little indentation. It's a critical juncture. A lot happens here. It's a big deal. Go a main channel to the arms, for instance. But it also goes through the lungs. On the surface, you have breasts, both men and women. And then down through, at this level, you have a spleen on one side and liver gallbladder on the other. You have ascending colon, descending colon. And then down into the center of the groove here. I call it the inside hip joint. There are lymph nodes here. From here, rather than repeat down the inside, you could go to the outside and go down the seams there, providing you're wearing jeans, and down the outside ankle bone and again into the ground. So you might have issues with any of these organs, and you would trace what we call the side channels. So we've gone to the outside legs. You could also go to the outside of the arms and the backside of the torso. Get the arms. You could do this contortion, reach around behind between the shoulder blades, project there, and then across the blade, and down the triceps and the elbow and the yang surface of the arm and the knuckles and the fingernails and beyond. Or if you want to get the back central channel, you could try this: top of the head, back of the brain, back of the neck, where a lot of people have problems, down the spine, between the blades. From there you'd kind of pick up and go down the rest of the spine and the sacrum and the tailbone, South Pole down. But next level, if you can project to the skin on the front, you can learn to project through the body to the back. So you save yourself all this physical movement and just project through to the back of the shoulder blades, across the yang surface, and out that way. I do this, I always feel like my shoulder blade is lengthening. Maybe you can see it. I feel like it's leaving the back. It's just getting relaxed enough to let gravity pull it away from the torso. And similarly, through the head, the motion's going to look the same, but you're projecting through to the back side of the body and clearing all down that way. So that's, now we've doubled the number of lines to 10, and I'll add one more. A grid does not have only vertical lines, it has also horizontal lines. So horizontal channel, we'll just pick the main one right in the middle of the body at the belt. So below the navel and above the pubic bone, there's this belt channel, and you trace this one, and this will affect the reproductive and elimination organs. Anything in the lower pelvis. Alright? So, as I mentioned, you could do this when you feel like something needs it. There's a cold coming in. We've got to get the sinuses. You could do it if you had a much more serious illness, like a cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic, colon. And if you did those, I would do sets of 20 repeatedly. In fact, that's part of the prescription of medical Qigong for cancers. So do sets of 20 hours on end. Just keep the lines moving. The theory goes, if you can get your energy level amped up 4 or 5 times, cancers will go into remission. So that's, the cold is the sort of the light end of the scale, and the cancers are the more severe end of the scale. But this stuff will work. You will have an effect regardless of how much you do. So those are the basics from an introductory point of view. Let's say you've already done this and you want to take it to another level. If you can project to a different, the back and the front, you might also be able to reach a different depth, like the spinal cord. There's a lot that goes on in the spinal cord. It's not just the central nervous system. Around the spinal cord is your craniosacral fluid, which they say holds the memory of where your spine is supposed to be. It also holds the memory of your injuries. So that's pretty subtle stuff. The deepest channel in the body is central axis, North Pole to South Pole, plumb line, axis mundi. Medically, it is said that all diseases have their origin and their resolution in the central channel. If you can reach that, actually if you can get there at all in your central channel and make some kind of change, some kind of shift, forget the hands. You've graduated beyond that. You can go into the central channel as easily as you can go into a stomach ache. Just feel it and go there. Another level at which you could take it is to do this on other people. Can you clear someone else's channel? Can they feel you doing this to them? And this is used as healing other people, not just yourself. Another little piece, what's the quality of energy that you are projecting? So we're clearing here. But you could do an invigorating thing, coming up the body, just waking you up. So yin and yang, and there are many shades of nuance in between the yin and the yang. So you could say, what is the nature of what I'm projecting? And explore that quite a ways. And one more bit, you'll notice that I've only gone down. The reason I like to go down is to clear things in a downward direction, to calm down. Anxious energy always comes up, and there is an issue sometimes if you're bringing energy up the body that you get too excited before you've ever calmed down. Eventually you want those to equal out. The Dragon and Tiger set starts right away with having things go up and down evenly. I just like to do the down first. That's part of the water method theory. Clear it down, then bring energy up. So there's an introduction with a little bit of advanced material. See what you can do with it. Play around with it. If you have questions, give me a call. Not give me a call. Write to me. I'll do the best I can to answer them. And thanks for your time. Good luck with it.